Hey guys, All in Crypto here and welcome back ladies and gentlemen for another YouTube video. I hope you've all had an amazing week so far. Today guys, I've got some very exciting things to share with you. We're going to be diving into Cardano and I'm going to be telling you why I believe new all-time highs are around the corner. Not just for Cardano, but for the crypto space as a whole. We are going to spend a little bit of time looking at the total money in terms of market cap in the crypto space. We're going to look at Bitcoin because it's really leading the charge. In yesterday's video, we kind of showed you how Bitcoin tends to lead the rally out of these pullbacks, followed by Ethereum and then Cardano. We really broke that down. We're going to be kind of re-emphasizing that. We are going to look at Cardano, and I do absolutely believe that the next couple of months for Cardano are going to be a wild ride. In yesterday's video, we looked at a tweet from Sidney Volmer, one of the head honchos at the Cardano Foundation. Essentially, the tweet, he was kind of hinting at the fact, and the tweet, I'll just read it for you. Some of the partnerships we're announcing at the Cardano Summit will blow people's minds. We're going to speculate on perhaps what this could be. Here I have an article that's really focused on the Alonzo upgrade and how 100 smart contracts were launched within the first 24 hours. And Charles Hoskinson himself is kind of talking about what's next for Cardano. And he talks about the adoption of Cardano by corporations and governments. We already know that they are working with some nation states and governments. This is another tweet from IOHK Media. Smaller governments recognise that the digital currencies are a great opportunity to leapfrog the West. And this, I was obviously referencing Charles Hoskinson. We have the Cardano Summit coming up on the 25th of September. I believe this was very strategically placed in terms of the date. Knowing, the team at Cardano would have known that after the Alonzo hard fork, it's typical that once a hard fork's taken place, the hype somewhat dies down. This is to kind of reignite the fire within your bellies, and it's not unjust or unwarranted because there are some serious reasons to be absolutely hyped and excited for this project and what we're going to see moving into the future. But where I want to start, guys, is I want to take a look at Bitcoin and really be re-emphasizing why I believe the recovery is on. Now, many people out there are calling for an A, B, C correction. I don't happen to think that's how this is going to play out, ladies and gentlemen. And the reason that people really call for this is because we've not already taken out our, we've not made a higher high yet. So people are kind of saying, well, look, you're making a lower high. It's possible that you can come down and make a lower low. So that was your higher high, and then you make a kind of lower low, lower high, and then go back down for your A, B, C correction. I happen to not think that that's actually what's going to happen. And I'll show you why. There's plenty of scenarios where it just hasn't come to fruition. Let's take us off log. For example, the March sell-off over here, guys, in 2020. You come down violently, you come up. And this has people calling for an ABC correction. I remember when this took place, I was a part of it. My portfolio was absolutely decimated. But essentially what happened then, guys, was you went on to make higher highs. And this is a very, very common trait of a recovery. For example, this one over here. Can you see this? You sell off, you come up. People are calling for an ABC, but then what actually happens is it contradicts and goes the other way. And that's what I think you're setting up for today, ladies and gentlemen. We did draw this falling wedge for you a long time ago, in actual fact. If you guys aren't already following me on Twitter, head over to @RealAllInCrypto. Where is it? We essentially drew this, how many days ago? A while ago, nearly 7 days ago when Bitcoin first did this, and we said there's a lot of similarities between what took place over here in the kind of May sell-off and where you currently are today, and why I actually think that that this is more of a basing structure than a kind of, can you see this, where you kind of come up and you kind of overhang. This is a lot more of a basing structure in a similar way to this. So we are expecting more continuation for the market as a whole. Of course, the reason we're looking at Bitcoin is because it's the driver of value within the space, and Cardano is actually going to outperform Bitcoin in this recovery. Now, it's at a bit of a kind of interesting point right now. There's many people out there calling for this as a head and shoulders. I don't think so. There is absolutely the possibility that Cardano could come down slightly. But ultimately, guys, this market is only going one way. In terms of, I have my head in these markets every single day. I listen to a lot of news articles. In terms of where this space, and I'm talking about the crypto space here, is going, in terms of its adoption curve, ladies and gentlemen, this is the adoption curve for a Z asset or a technology. You're here. You're probably coming up to that halfway mark, and there's going to be a lot more money ushered in over here before the hype sort of dies down. So I think we've still got a lot to come for the crypto space as a whole. You know, we're only starting to now see a country, and more will follow, adopt Bitcoin. Of course, what's good for Bitcoin is good for the altcoins, and we are now seeing companies such as ARK Invest kind of split their Bitcoin holdings and moving some into Ethereum, really showing that, you know, the flow of money is now moving sort of away from Bitcoin. We know that that's certainly true with the dominance, etc., etc. So we're expecting great things for this space as a whole. And this is really, can you see this? More of a bottoming structure. You could have a bit of a cup and handle here, guys. And you are getting real support from your 20 EMA on the weekly, which is really, really good to see. Now, you are kind of caught between your 20 and your 50. But if we flip to the 1 hourly, your 50 is actually holding you as support, and you've broken above your 20. So you always want to look at it from a different number, especially if you're looking at short term, where the price is going to move. It's no good looking at a long-term chart. You're better off kind of getting into the nitty gritty, and you can see you are kind of finding support here. And this, to me, and we said this from the start, was probably your local low, and you've got a lot of support in this area, and it ranges really back to your previous all-time highs after this correction. So things to me, guys, look absolutely bullish. We're going back to our kind of long-term time frame before we move on to anything else. And this is really what you're setting up for, guys. And we overlay this for you so often because it is literally following it to an absolute T. It really is. And if we look at the RSI, and this is one confirming factor to me. So if we look at our one wave and going into our two wave, so this was your one wave, and this was your two wave, this was your break out of it, which is where essentially we are today, ladies and gentlemen. I hope this is making some sense. And then you come back down and then go into your next impulsion. So you come back down, go into your next impulsion. Today, if you look what happened, this is your fourth wave. This is your first wave out of it. You've come down and you're ready to set up for that next wave, guys. So we're super, super bullish on what's to come. And I can't reiterate that enough, guys. Even if there is some short-term price movement to the downside, you're really just setting up a similar structure to what you did over here, but in a different kind of manner. So we're very, very bullish. And I ultimately think, and like I said, I believe that the Cardano Summit was strategically placed very close to the Alonzo Hardfork release when hype typically kind of drops off to reinstate that hype. And the reason being is because there's a lot to be hyped about. This is going to be absolutely huge. Sydney Volmer essentially hinted on some amazing announcements. This is an article that's really focused on the Alonzo upgrade and how there's already 100 smart contracts running. This is Charles talking himself. The focus is now on improving the platform further and ensuring that Cardano is adopted by corporations and governments. With this launch, commercialization is as much in the hands of the community as it is the system architects. And they have already delivered. In less than 24 hours, we have over 100 smart contracts and have been run on the network and have already been run on the network. He also opened up about his dedication to the project, describing the design of the blockchain as the most difficult and meaningful work of his career. This time next year, there will be useful and in some cases life-changing decentralized applications running on the system, which will transform the lives of millions to billions of people through the next decade, he added. This is also a triumph for science, etc., etc. This was a post from IOHK Media. Small governments recognise that this digital currency is a great opportunity to leapfrog the West. Great piece featuring IOHK Charles Hoskinson, discussing I'm not going to say that, on blockchain and how it provides a unique opportunity for developing countries. And it absolutely does. Blockchain technology has offered an olive branch to humanity. We can now say bye to the old corrupt financial systems and usher in something that's a little bit more decentralized, a little bit more fair. Ultimately, I do think the old system is going to somewhat mutate into this system and bring that corruption with it, but we'll see how the future pans out. So I'm very, very excited about what's to come. This is the total money in crypto. This bar pattern is so, when you're looking, because really all trading is you're looking for trends, you're looking for patterns, and can you see just how these kind of work, ladies and gentlemen? You know, you come up. If you look at the total two here, many, many moments. Can you see this? Let me take this off auto. You come down, you recover. People are going, oh no, we're going low for an ABC, and it does the opposite. And that's what I'm expecting. You know, we're in a bull market, guys. There's absolutely no doubt about that. Similar thing over here. Come down, come up. Uh-oh, we're going lower. It does the opposite. whatever you want the crypto space to do, it will do the opposite. It's just how this market kind of works, ladies and gents. So we're very, very excited. This sell-off in March is actually more applicable to the one that we just currently went through. Can you see that? Following it in a very similar fashion. So I'm pretty convinced, and I certainly believe, and I'm taking the swing trade on a number of cryptos out there. Not Cardano. This is probably the last time I accumulate Cardano, just because I've been accumulating it for so long. And we did say, and we have been saying for a long time, that when we were up here, we were waiting till we came back to this EMA, in much the same way that after every move you come back, every move you come back, which is how we know that this sell-off is somewhat normalized. I'll quickly talk about when it won't be. So if you then do this ABC correction, you've kind of invalidated a lot of structure, and you've invalidated this kind of Elliott Wave theory. And I don't see that happening, guys. I'm a bull on this space. I think we're still early as a space as a whole, and certainly Cardano in its kind of adoption cycle is very, very early. So I'm super, super stoked, guys, and I thought I'd just get on here and make a video. You can really see that Bitcoin is, to me anyway, basing out. You're very similar, and we did call this a long time ago that you were going to set up a similar structure to your falling wedge. If you're not already following me on Twitter, guys, head over to there. But big things to come. Get ready for the Cardano Summit. Get ready for the tail end of that to be huge. You know, regardless of the short-term kind of ups and downs, which is what people really need to stop paying attention to. Unless you're a trader, a scalper, or somebody who's like a micro trader, and if you're an investor, you haven't, you know, unless you enjoy doing it, like somebody like myself, there's not really much reason to be watching the charts on a kind of day-to-day basis. Just understand what you're investing in, and the rest will make sense. A quick comment on people being negative towards Cardano and the kind of haters of Cardano. Please ignore those guys, because if they have nothing better to do with their time than sit on a computer and be negative, those kind of people in life you don't need to worry about, because they will destroy themselves. You can't just give out negativity and expect anything but that back. You know, it's kind of the laws of how the world works. So please ignore that. If you're a part of crypto, you should want everybody to win. Please don't get caught up in this kind of tribalistic maximalism. I'm not even a Cardano maximalist. I'm a blockchain maximalist. I think this technology is going to change the world, and I want everybody involved in it to win. I don't want anybody to fail. That's just a super negative attitude to kind of take forward with you, and you're really only hurting yourself by holding that. So that's really all I have for you in this video, guys. Any short-term kind of price action, I wouldn't really be too worried about. Even if we do sell off, of course, if we sell off below these kind of levels that I don't think we will, that we set out for you, like if we take a look at Bitcoin, for example, you know, you don't want to kind of come below these lows. You certainly don't want to become below this one, because it kind of invalidates a whole kind of macro structure. So that's really all I have for you in this video, guys. Bright future ahead of us. I'm going to love and leave you on that note. If you're not already subscribed to me on Twitter, head over there. If you've enjoyed the video, a like is always appreciated, so is a comment. And I look forward to seeing you all tomorrow. So get subscribed, guys. Thanks a lot for watching.